All right, welcome back to From Aid Arbitration. In these next few episodes, we're going to be talking about accidents and how we can better defend our brothers and sisters against management's actions after we have an accident. The two top disciplines to me that we face are attendance and accidents. Through being a shop steward and formal step A and advocate, those to me seem like those are the top two forms of discipline that we deal with, attendance and accidents. So dealing with accidents, I want to take just a few episodes because I believe that there's a lot to it. I think that there's a lot we can do to help ourselves as it pertains to accidents. And so we're going to take just a few episodes to address some of those because I don't like my episodes to be too long. The Postal Service has the second largest vehicle fleet in the world, second only to the Department of Defense. So we have a lot of vehicles out there every single day out on the streets. So we're going to have accidents. There are going to be things that happen that we can't control. And there are some things that unfortunately happen that we could control, we just didn't. But a lot of times it's just simple side swipes, hitting stationary objects that we just didn't see. And to me, those things could be corrected with just a discussion, but you have management out there that wants to fire letter carriers, and that's a sad thing. My office, a lot of times we joke around saying that management hires you with the sole purpose of firing you. So they look for anything and everything, and a simple side swipe or something that could have been dealt with a discussion. We have aggressive management. Most time it's district managers that hate the letter carrier craft because it's something they could never do. They're usually real short people that have a complex, and so they despise the letter carrier because we do what they couldn't do. So they want us fired at all costs. So you have a letter carrier that had an accident that could have been handled with a discussion, and they want us fired. So we're going to try to combat that a little bit in these next few episodes. This is going to be rather short. It's going to talk about the Article 41.3p. Article 41.3p. And this is management's obligations after an accident. And it says, the employer shall promptly notify the local union president of any job-related vehicle accidents involving city letter carriers. The key word there is promptly. So, the JCAM tells you that you're going to promptly notify the branch president after a vehicle accident. To me, that means that you're going to notify the branch president so that the branch president can either come out himself or contact the steward and have them go out there and investigate the scene of the accident. And why is that important? Because most of the time when there's a vehicle accident, management's going to have 2, 3, maybe 4 people out there investigating this accident, taking pictures, talking to witnesses, talking to the police, and here's the carrier out there by himself with no one. A lot of the times management will start asking questions, and some carriers, they just don't know. They're going to start talking. They're going to start telling what happened. Well, that's what we do in an investigative interview, not at the scene of the accident. So I want that union representative out there at the scene of the accident. So when management says, hey, what happened out here? Hold on just a second. Hang on, I'm out here. So we're going to start talking. If it's going to be questions out here, he's being investigated, and he needs to understand that. That's the reason we need union representation out at the scene of an accident. So management can't just bulldoze the letter carrier, which is exactly what happens, because any answer the letter carrier gives at the scene of the accident, you're going to see that when he receives discipline, period. So that is something that we need to raise after the accident. If you call the branch president and say, hey, Tom, did management notify you that Corey Walton had an accident? No, I didn't even know Corey had an accident. How's he doing? Well, he's doing great, but they didn't contact you? No, nobody contacted me. Contend that in your informal Step A contentions. Make a contention against 41.3p that management did not contact the branch president. That, to me, is a violation of the carrier's due process. Some arbitrators won't consider that argument at all. And that makes me angry because it's a provision of our agreement that this is what you're going to do. And there's a reason that they put it in there. Why would you put something in there if you're just going to overlook it? I'm a staunch believer that the contract states what it states and it means what it means. If it tells you that you're going to promptly notify that branch president, dadgummit, to me, you're supposed to do that. And if you don't do that, then it has to be a violation of the grievance due process rights. I want union representation out there at the scene of the accident to defend my brothers and sisters against management, because like I said, they're going to bulldoze that carrier out there. I had a carrier here in my installation that he's in management now, so I don't care. But this dummy, he's out on the street, and management, he had a rollaway. He fell out of his vehicle. And so management's out there, and they're having him reenact him falling out of the vehicle. So he's in the vehicle, and he's got these dumb looking faces. You know, there's pictures of this where he's falling out like he's in a drama, you know, and they're sitting there taking pictures. I can see him out there just yucking it up with this guy. Oh, that looks good. Yeah. Look, do this right here, do this right. So he's taking all these pictures of him falling out of this vehicle, and then they use it against him in a removal. So I'm here representing this guy in a removal, looking at these pictures and looking at him like, man, you're a real dumbass for doing that. And so, I mean, we got him his job back, but still, that's what happens to carriers when they're out on the street. And if you're a dummy like this guy who went into management, then they're going to use that against you. And you're not going to have anybody out there to represent you to tell you, hey, look, dummy, don't do that. Don't sit there and do a skit for these people. We're not going to do that. So 41.3p, it's a massive argument for us because it's something that it says they must do. We have to start doing a better job of putting that in the case file and making that a contention, because you do have some arbitrators that are sympathetic to that. Some arbitrators are looking for any excuse to bring the carrier back. They naturally don't. I have one that she don't care about letter carriers at all, and she's off the panel, thank God, but she don't care. You can do whatever you want to do to letter carriers. She doesn't care. They're going to fire you. She's going to fire you. It doesn't matter. But most arbitrators are sympathetic to the letter carrier's cause, and they look for something to bring a carrier back. So let's give them all the options they have to bring a carrier back. And 41.3p to me is a good one. It's a start. That's a good place to start as far as a grievance is concerned. When you're dealing with accidents and accident-related discipline, start at that 41.3p. It's a good place to sink your teeth into it, that management did not promptly notify the branch president, and therefore it violated the carrier's due process rights to have union representation out at the scene, plus giving us an opportunity to investigate the scene of the accident as promptly after the accident as it's happened, not a day or two later when we go out there and the vehicles have been moved. I had a case here. A young lady had a vehicle accident. Her steering column locked up. Her vehicle just takes off into these woods. She hits another vehicle. So management has 4 or 5 people out there investigating this accident. Well, they call the branch president, and so they contend, hey, we called the branch president. Well, my Formal A, he starts putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and he says, the vehicle was towed away by this towing company. Let me have that towing company's receipt. So the towing company they send the receipt, we get it. And so he says, management said they notified the branch president at 3:00. The vehicle accident happened at noon. The towing company was called at 12:30. They come to the scene and they do whatever they got to do. And at 2:45, they leave with the vehicle. And when do they call the branch president? At 3:00. Well, what good does that do us now? The vehicle's already gone. So if they say they have contacted the branch president, see when that accident happened, see when they notified the branch president, and see if it was promptly. Because we need to be out there at the scene of the accident while the vehicle's still there so that we can do our own investigation. And like I said, so we can have union representation out there for that carrier so management cannot pile on with all these managers and stuff. So that's just the first episode of vehicle accidents, but it's a huge point we need to start making, need to start doing a better job of contending 413P. It's a massive argument for us, for arbitrators that are looking for something, anything to bring a carrier back. So next episode, we might get into the 1769. That's another killer of management because they don't know what they're doing when they fill that out. But this episode, 413P, is the beginning of maybe a 2 or 3 series here on accidents. But hopefully this helped you. Y'all have a fantastic rest of the day, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Take care now. Bye.